Thailand is a culture with an undertone of Buddhism. And what's lovely about Buddhism is it embraces everything in moderation. And so there's zero tension from a Buddhist towards a Christian or a Muslim or a Indian, or a Shi, whatever. There's acceptance. And that's very refreshing because in my country's primary religion, we have bigotry and dogmatism and hypocrisy to the hilt, as well as this moral superiority that says that, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ and all, you're going to hell and all this, bullshit. A secure personality of any kind is more multidimensional and more tolerant than an insecure personality. Any good psychologist will point this out. And so what it's saying is that Buddhism in the Thai culture is more secure in itself than any Western culture that I'm aware of, and more secure than a Muslim culture as well, with the fanaticism that goes in there. In other words, that there's a correlation between fanaticism and insecurity and fear of the unknown. Fear of change, fear of the unknown lead directly to fanaticism and dogmatism. And it's refreshing to be in a culture that actually is complex and open-minded. Now, the United States prides itself as being a country of law. And within the self-referential, I guess, analysis of, of this kind of elevation of law, it appears superior within its own framework. Because if you decide that laws are more important than human beings, then you've decided that. So now you say that you're a country of laws rather than a country of human beings. And now you tout the magnificence as you sacrifice one group or one people after another or one individual after another to uphold the rule of law. Now, this sounds very noble if you buy into the bullshit that laws are more important than human beings, particularly corrupt laws written by lobbyists and you name it. In Thailand, there's more of, I would say, a culture of people. There is a rule of people. And what I mean by that is that the people and the story and the context matters in Thailand the way it does not. The U.S. prides itself as ignoring the people to uphold an impartial, the scales of justice, right? Which, of course, it gets completely wrong by incarcerating more African Americans than but they pretend, the scale of justice. But in Thailand, it's quite a different experience. When I had a conflict with the Thai language school that didn't want to refund my money, when I decided I didn't want to proceed with the way they were, doing stuff, we had a conversation. And so I called the police and we met at the police station. And there was no, this is the way it's going to happen by the law. They listened to me fully, and then they listened to the Thai language school owner. And then they listened to me, and they listened to her. And they were more of a mediator. The police were more of a mediator to witness an agreement. And this was very interesting to me because they were interested in her situation. And they were interested in my situation as well. And so we came to an agreement, and then the police's job was to have witnessed the agreement, and then see that it was carried out simply by I could complain if it wasn't carried out. She was late in the ultimate refund, and so I pointed out to the police, and they called her, and then she paid up. But it was a culture of people. The richer person, for example, will sometimes pay for a road accident even if it wasn't their fault. And Westerners are infuriated about this. But the Thai are quite practical. Someone's gotten into a motorcycle accident. They have hospital bills. How is that going to be paid for? They need to be rehabilitated. So it's about the person. And I rather like this notion that people are more important than laws.